word explorers. So this is Jyoti again, back again from Sandeep Sir, Doon Defense Academy, and today again we are going to continue with the vocabulary section. So when we talk about vocabulary, yes, I gave you few words yesterday and I'm sure you must have practiced those words, right? I'm sure you must have understood and practiced. Even if you have understood, you must practice them. So today we are going to continue with our journey to learn vocabulary, and we are going to learn more words today. Again, the pattern is same. I am going to give you a sentence, and with that there are 4 options. We will not only learn the meaning of the specific word which is supposed to be filled in the gap, we will also learn the meaning of the remaining 3 words. Like there are 4 options. So one is the answer which is supposed to be in the gaps, but the 3 other options we will learn the meaning of those also. So when we talk about this next sentence, it says his employer had all along been kind to him, so he dashed by being loyal to him. So what happens is that most of the time we reciprocate, right? Reciprocate in the sense when someone is angry on you and the person talks angrily, you also reply in the same way. When someone is kind, you also reply in the kind way, right? When someone is polite, you are also polite. So here the employer was very kind to him. The employer was very kind, so he dashed by being loyal. When somebody shows their loyalty, the feeling is the same. So when we talk about reprimanded, reprimanded is some kind of action which is being taken by some kind of authority for not doing anything correctly, right? So something has not been done, and that is why the person has been called. But since this person is loyal, so he must have done something good. So when I talk about accommodated, accommodated means to adjust. So for example, I can say that there is no more room for us to accommodate more people here. So accommodate means to adjust. Delegate means, when you talk about delegate, delegate means an authority, okay, an authority which is assigned to do certain work. So for example, delegation, when we talk about delegate, so delegate means a kind of authority. For example, we have delegates from all over our country for some kind of summit, for G20 summit or any kind of meeting. So we have delegations, they are people. People who have been assigned for certain work. Now reciprocated, reciprocated means, I used this word when I was explaining you this sentence. So when I talk about reciprocated, reciprocated means to respond in the same way, to respond. For example, if someone is kind to me, I will reciprocate with the same kindness. If someone is polite, I'll reciprocate with the same politeness. So it is the same feeling. It is not that this one is something else and this one. So you have to reciprocate in the same. Reciprocate is kind of say replying. So this person was very generous, so he replied to him by being loyal. Let's move on to the second sentence. The company issued a warning about dash products being sold online. So a warning has been issued. That means the product is not good. So what products are we talking about? First is legitimate. Legitimate is legal, right? Legitimate is legal. Authentic, you can say. Authentic, these two are same, okay? Authentic, these two are same. Legitimate, authentic, counterfeit and accurate. So when I talk about counterfeit, we have counterfeit money and all those things. So counterfeit is fake, false, right? Okay, and we can also say spurious, spurious, right? So all these are the synonym of what? False things. So when I talk about here, the actual word is counterfeit, because something which is accurate is correct, right? Something which is accurate is correct. So these 3 are almost synonyms, but when you talk about counterfeit, counterfeit is something which is false, which is fake, right? So and spurious also. So when I talk about all these things, counterfeit is the right option. We also get counterfeit money, which is fake money, all right? Let's move on to the next sentence here. We are happy to dash the receipt of your order number so and so, dated 4th of April 2025. Okay, we are happy to dash the following receipt of your order number 45328, dated 4th of April 2025. So what happens is they admit. Admit means to admit something. When somebody has committed a mistake, when somebody has some emotions for someone, then you admit it, right? Accept means again same thing. Accept and admit is the same thing. Admit is accept, accept is admit. And respond means, again, respond means to reciprocate. When somebody has said something, you respond in the same, you return it. So here acknowledge means to confirm. So here acknowledge means to confirm, which means that we are happy to confirm the receipt of your order number 45328 dated. So here acknowledge means to receive. Acknowledge means you sometimes when somebody is talking to you, right? When somebody is talking to you, you must acknowledge. How do you acknowledge? You acknowledge by nodding your head that yes, I am listening. Even if you don't speak, it is very important for you to acknowledge what the other person is saying. So yes, this is acknowledgement, right? The teacher asks you question in the class and the teacher asks you, do you understand? And you say yes. Okay, you just nod your head, that is acknowledgement. So here the receipt has been given for the acknowledgement that the order has been received. I hope that is clear. Now let's move on to the next sentence. The next sentence is, it is a shame that many people in the world have to live basic necessities such as food, shelter. So according to us, the basic necessities for us, for a normal human being. Now understand, this is just for a good to know information. Necessity and luxury. Necessity and luxury. There is a difference between necessity and luxury. Necessity is which is essential for us to survive, which is food, shelter and clothing. These three are the things which are necessary for us to advise. But the other things are luxury. For example, if I want clothing and I want a bag, I want a jeans from Gucci or a t-shirt like that, that is luxury, right? So luxury is something. Car, okay fine, if I take car is okay fine, which is these days it's a luxury only. But if I take a car and I want a nice car, like a big one, you can say Rolls Royce or so, that becomes my luxury. So here when we are talking about three things, food, shelter and clothing, so there are many people in the world who live dash. So along with means together, including, nahi, besides, nahi, without is the correct option. We live without food and shelter. This is a very easy one. I hope you must have understood. So many people, it is a shame that many people have to live without basic necessities such as food, clothing and shelter. Next, the manager is to help his subordinates. The manager is supposed to help his subordinates dash their potential in their present as well as in their future assignments. So the manager, what does a manager do? The job of the manager is to help his subordinates in there and to dash their potential. So what potential? The capability, right? The ability to do something. The manager needs to check the potential of their subordinates in their present as well as future assignments. So according to their potential, the future assignments or present assignments can be given. No, respect won't fit here. Respect their potential, but it won't fit here. Train is not. Delegate, I've told you the meaning of delegate, to assign some work or assign a group of people. So here he must realize the potential. Without realizing the potential, he won't be able to use their true potential. So realize is the correct form of fill in the blanks over there. 18th, the statue was so dashed that people stared at it in horror. Statue was so dashed that people stared at it in horror. Statue was so, because people were scared. Okay, people were scared to watch it. So that is why one of the word will fit here, isn't it? So when we talk about here, when we talk about beatific means feeling blissful, a feeling of happiness, feeling of blissful. So we'll write here feeling of happiness, feeling of happiness. Okay, let's start from here. Feeling of happiness. Cumbersome. Cumbersome means, for example, when I talk about cumbersome is quite heavy. Okay, because of its weight or something like that, it is heavy. Cumbersome is heavy. For example, I would say doing a lot of tasks one after the other is very cumbersome for me. When I talk about grotesque means very bizarre. Bizarre means not too good. You can say bizarre means very strange, awkward, that is grotesque. Okay, you don't feel good when you see something. So exquisite, the next word is exquisite. Exquisite means something very, very, you can say beautiful, something very beautiful. So this is exquisite, right? So the next sentence that I have for you is the speaker. The speaker did not properly space out his speech. The speaker did not. The speaker was there on stage and he did not speak properly, right? And what happens? But he went on dash 1 point only. He did not have variety in his speech, you can say, and he did not properly said the speech properly, he did not address the audience. But what he did, he kept on stressing, right? Stressing is the right word. Avoiding is not the right word because he was talking only on one point. So if he is avoiding, that is not the right word. Devoting is not the right word. Decrying means again express some kind of disrespect. So disrespect, express disrespect. So this is also not the right disrespect. I'll write it properly. Disrespect. Express disrespect. Okay. So it was he was talking only about one point. So stressing is the right option, in which stressing also means harping onto one point. If that is clear, let's move on to the next. The Britishers had succeeded in keeping India divided and dashed forever. So this is very easy. Divide, there is a policy called divide and rule. So the Britishers had succeeded in keeping divided and ruled, right? Ruling is not the right option. Destabilized can also be here. Destabilized. The Britishers had succeeded in keeping India divided and destabilized. We won't take ruled, we'll take destabilized. This is the right option. The destabilized means it did not have any kind of base, right? To create a situation which reduces its power or influence. So yes, rule can also be there, but destabilized is the correct thing. Destabilized means to move something from its roots, right? So that is destabilized. Now let's move on to the next sentence. He apologized for his dash behavior at the party. So which means that the behavior was not good, that is why he had to apologize. So here he apologized for his dash. Delightful means very happy. No, this is not the right option. Amicable and affable means both friendly. So if he was friendly, he needn't have to apologize. So if he's apologized, he did something bad, which is odious. Odious means unpleasant, very foul, very unpleasant kind of thing. So odious. So he apologized for his odious behavior. Okay. Now the next word is, he was sweating after the long run. He was sweating dash after long. When you run a lot, just imagine when you run a lot, you start sweating. And sometimes depends on person to person. Sometimes few people sweat this way. So deliberately, can someone sweat deliberately? No. So deliberately, someone cannot sweat. Deliberately means intentionally. No, intentionally. You plan to do it. That is deliberately, right? Posthumously. Posthumously is not a right word, because when you talk about posthumously is something given to a person, an award mostly given to a person when a person dies. So after dying, no sweating. Scarcely. Scarcely means very limited, less than the required amount, right? The word comes from this. Some people call this as scarce, but this is not scarce. You see, if it is like this much, then it is scar. Scar means any kind of mark on your body. This is scarce, but when you add a CE, it becomes scarce. So scarce. Now we get scarce rainfall these days. Scarce means very rare. So here when we talk about profusely means, for example, I can say abundant or lavish. So profusely means abundant. So he was sweating, the right word is profusely. Or you can say he was sweating abundantly after the long run. I hope that is clear now. Alright. The next word I have for you is, the team felt dash after winning 10 matches in row. Now the team kept on winning matches one after the other. So they won 10 matches in a row, and then they felt very vulnerable. The vulnerable is, you can say they are very, what do you say? Vulnerable means they are very prone to some kind of, just say, if I say children are very vulnerable to attack, they can be attacked easily. These are vulnerable. Young children are vulnerable to diseases because they are very, you can say, they are very delicate. So vulnerable means who are easily attacked, right? Conquerable means easy to conquer. Invincible and deteriorate. Deteriorate means to make a condition worse. A condition is going bad, it goes bad more and it gets deteriorated. When we talk about invincible is difficult to win. Okay, we cannot defeat easily. So difficult to defeat. That is not the right thing. Sorry, I'll erase it. It is difficult to defeat. difficult to defeat. So these are invincible. There were many kings in the past who were invincible. There were many kings in the past who were invincible, difficult to defeat. So the team felt invincible after winning 10 matches. So the team thought that we would not be able to be defeated. We are invincibles, right? Next, the villagers considered it dash to disturb the ancient shrine. Shrine, there was a place where they used to pray, and somebody said that, okay, fine, we need to maybe do something here. Maybe make some kind of renovations, changes. So the villagers considered that it is dash to disturb the ancient shrine. So the first word is devout, the second word is impious, and lavish and virtuous. So let's talk about one by one. Lavish, as I said, it is abundant, right? Abundant. Luxury, you can also say luxury, luxurious. And then virtuous, virtuous means very, again, it is very pious. Pious means very religious, you can say. Devout, devout also means religious, both of these are same. Device means religious, devoted. Okay, but when we talk about here, virtuous and pious and impious, impious means it is very, you can say irreligious. Yes, irreligious would be the right word, irreligious. So since we are talking about disturbing something, the shrine, so villagers considered it to be irreligious, means impious. Impious is the right word here. So my grandmother is a very pious lady, which means my mother is a pious lady, which means she is very religious person. But the opposite of religious, pious, is impious, means irreligious, not that much religious. So these are the, again, next 12 words. So the words are 12, the fill in the blanks are 12, but with these 4 words that you have learned extra, I think you have learned more than that. So until next time, keep practicing as always, and do subscribe to Sandeep Sir Doon Defense Academy's channel for more updates, tips and tricks like this. Thank you for now. Bye-bye.
Kindly subscribe DDA YouTube channel and don't forget to press bell icon.